healthy and well. So tonight we're drawing faces, and I want you to have a reference photo. So I'm using my twin sister, Hilty. If y'all didn't know that, I have a twin. We're fraternal twins, so I'm a little bit taller and I have curly hair, and she's got really pretty, fine, the prettier hair. I'm just kidding. She's got really pretty hair and really beautiful features. So I wanted to draw her tonight. And go ahead and get a few pieces of paper. I'm gonna put my hair back. So I have, keep one piece of paper for your drawing, and then we're gonna do a little exercise before we get going. Just a pencil, an eraser, and some paper, and your reference photo. So let's go ahead and pan over to the setup. So as you can see, I have my model, Hilty, and I chose to do an angle in a face that I think some of y'all might have thought was difficult, which is totally normal. When you're looking at a face and when you're drawing a face, you imagine the face front on, right? So I chose a face that's turned over to her left and turned down a little bit, just to kind of show y'all that it can be done, although it might seem difficult. So with the first piece of paper, we're gonna pause on the reference photo, and I just want you to draw the basic outline of a face. So the top of the head is bigger, so basic outline. This does not have to be perfect. And the cheeks and the chin. So just think of an oval with wide sides. Flat on the top and bottom, wide sides. I just want you to draw an outline of a face. I'm gonna show you very, very, very simple proportions that will help you draw a face from here on out. And then what I'm gonna do after this practice tonight is upload a really great proportion outline of a face that I learned in art school, and I'm gonna put that on my website for you to use as reference. Draw the top line, draw the bottom line. So the top of the head and the chin, okay? And remember, I'm using a hard pencil tonight, but if you're using a light pencil, try to keep it relatively loose and light. Tilt your head and draw what you see as the halfway point in between these two lines. I'm gonna name this T for top, I'm gonna name this C for chin, and I'm gonna name this half for the halfway point. Typically in most drawings, the eyes go right in the halfway point. So we're just gonna do some eyes here. Again, it's gonna change depending on what your portrait already looks like. Then I want you to draw, so you have your top line, your bottom line, your half line. Split these two sections into thirds. So a third, a third, a third, a third, all right? So right now you should have 6 chunks that are equidistant from one another. That's a good word. I haven't used equidistant in a long time. So the halfway point is the eyes. Right in between this third and the eyes is where your eyebrows are gonna go. And you can draw another line there. The halfway point, the eyes, at about underneath this first third is where the bottom of your nose is gonna go. So the halfway point is a really important point for us. It's the eyes. A little bit above are the eyebrows. And again, this is just an exercise before we get into an actual portrait. And then at the bottom third, right below the first bottom third, is the bottom of the nose. Within this chunk of space, so this face is a little bit strange, I know, but we're gonna put the mouth right here. So I know that looks very strange, but again, this is not a perfect art school proportion by any means, but it's a reference point for you to use at home when you're drawing someone sitting across from you. You can, when you see my drawings, I always do a line here, a line here, a line here, and then I go like this. So I'm always creating proportions. So we have the halfway, the top, the bottom, we have these thirds. Right above the half are the eyebrows. Right below the first third is the nose. And then right at about this bottom third is where your mouth is gonna land, okay? I mean, there we go, just kidding. But that's a great exercise to practice. Here's where the hairline starts, so the cheeks, whatever. And you literally just drew a face, and you can do your thing. Okay, so put that paper away. All I did was lines and scribbles, and we see a face. And I have a smaller reference point, but again, I'm gonna upload an actual image of this. Let's go into our next sheet of paper and actually start to bring this into the face that we have a reference of, whether it's someone you're quarantining with or a photo of a friend or maybe a mom for Mother's Day. Everybody, that would be a good gift. Mother's Day is right around the corner. Maybe you're like, hey mom, I drew you. So think about, so I cropped out my sweet husband, Michael. I love you, babies, right here. But Hilty's face, I thought, was just a little more interesting in its actual shape, in its actual, not shape, babe, I love your face, in the structure of the face, how it's tilted, how it's turning. So draw what you see. So I see a hat cutting at the top half here, coming up a little bit closer. All right, so I'm gonna draw the first, goes all the way to the edge. All right, so this is where her face is gonna fit in. Now try to get rid of any generalization that you're already thinking of with a face. Keep in mind that the human body has no single straight line, and that you're going to use these little measuring reference points to help you place the eyes and the nose and the mouth. So I'm going to draw the overall shape. That's like the best rule of thumb with drawing what you see. Draw the overall shape. So I see a nice curve here. I see her chin, a cheek coming out, and then her forehead. Her chin might go a little bit lower, but here again we have the overall shape. Overall shape. Just keep it very liney, keep it very loose, keep it very simple. Start to go into the overall shape detail. So there's a chunk of hair. I see it goes kind of straight in. There's a little line here. She doesn't have a square chin per se, but it does have these edges that I want to pronounce. This comes up. Okay, Jean-Pierre woke up from his nap. Michael and I were holding out for, I mean, he's literally like a baby. I'm talking about him like a baby. He's my cat. He woke up from his nap, so we were hoping that he would stay quiet tonight, but that's okay. Y'all are going to hear him. Her nice smile comes here. Eyebrow, and then forehead. All right, so again, I'm gonna probably change this because I don't already like what I'm seeing so far, but I'm just gonna kind of go with it. And I like to move side to side. So if you're someone who's been drawing like this your whole life, try to take a step back from the paper, take a step back on your pencil, and try to move side to side. You're sweeping the image side to side, okay? So I'm already knowing that this is gonna go up higher. I can already feel it. All right. Now we're going to use those proportions. So just imagine that the top of her head is here, all right? So I'm doing the top line, the bottom line, the halfway point, third, 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 third. The halfway point is the star, okay? Remember, this is the top, this is the bottom. These are just little thirds. Where did I put my other third? Here we go. So they're not perfect, but they're close. So all right. Now remember, the eyes are here. So go ahead and just draw some ovals for the eyes. And remember, you're not going to draw the eyes like this. The head is tilted. Again, but depending on your image. I can already tell she's going to need a little bit more space. Okay, so here are her eyes. Remember, underneath the first third is where you'll draw the nose, so I can tell that her nose is going to go right here. Right about here is her mouth. It's all proportion, and proportion is really important because faces are very proportioned. If they are, they're proportioned, and I know some of us have bigger and different features, but we like to find proportion in nature and structure in nature. So see, I'm already having an issue with this cheek. I did do this exercise before, so I'm gonna look at my reference photo, and then start to add detail. So the eyebrows are right above the eyes. I knew that he would wake up. Here we go. I'm just kind of going over my detail. Use it as a roadmap here. The hat here. Okay. And then think about the angles. So her forehead does come out just a little bit more than her cheek. And I'm drawing really hard. I don't advise drawing hard. Her cheek is in line with her nose. So her cheek comes like this. And then I like to start drawing circles of where the cheeks actually are. This is gonna help me with my cute smile lines that I see. And then her nose, this little dip right before the upper lip. So lips, let's talk about lips. Everyone draw an oval. Everyone draw another oval. Draw two smaller ovals. And that's the basic shape of a mouth. You can draw the dip here, the dip here, the dip here. I know everyone has beautiful and different lips, but that's the basic shape of a mouth. Oval, oval, down, up, down, up. So I'm gonna kind of use that here. I see an oval here. This oval moves up because she's smiling. This oval is lengthened. I see an oval here. This oval moves up. This oval moves up because she's smiling. And I have a cute brother, Jackson. So Jackson, you can be my model next time. And I have beautiful parents. So I mean, anybody who wants to be my model for these cute little demos. So, and one thing that I always pay attention to, especially when I'm doing commissions of portraits, is if I'm really not connecting with the gestural quality of the portrait, like if the teeth are freaking me out, or, you know, I because I'm an expressive artist, I let myself kind of get really loose there. So if you're scared to do the teeth and you're afraid that they're going to be distracting, draw little instances of teeth. So that's what I'm going to kind of show you right now. So we did our ovals with Hilty's really pretty mouth. So I'm just drawing the shape. I know that they're made of these kind of 6 ovals. Use this as a reference. You can always come back to that. And then think about the shape of the teeth. All right? So sorry for zooming in on your teeth, Hilty. I see that there's a cut here from the gums to the teeth, and then the teeth rise up in this direction. And I'm actually not gonna draw the individual teeth because I don't like how that looks all the time, but if you are drawing teeth, let's say that this is your teeth and your gums, just be weary of, I mean, it's all y'all's style. I don't want to tell you how to draw teeth, but if you make them individual units, then they're going to look like individual units. Try to keep them somewhat connected. So if you're doing the gums, can you keep them all connected? And then maybe you draw a little bit of a space in between, but if you keep them connected with a little instance of space in between, they'll look more like a harmonious smile. But if you're drawing each tooth individually, it's gonna look like individual teeth kind of stuck up in your gums. So, and in this, you know, her smile is kind of coming out a little far here, so I'm gonna chop it back. It's always good to zoom in, zoom back. All right, there's her smile line. I see her chin line. Oh, JP. And let's start to move into other lines. So I like to get, y'all know me, I like to get really expressive with my lines. Remember these eyebrows. So eyebrows, the top of the eyebrow to the bottom of the nose is about where the ear goes. Her ear, both of her ears are hidden, but that's going to be in that proportion sheet that I'm going to upload to my website right after this tutorial. Eyebrows are really fun. You can do a big chunk of space first, but eyebrows define a person. And Hilty, what I love about her eyebrows is she has very thick and very defined eyebrows. So sometimes I box them in first and then get free with your brush stroke, so I'm gonna kind of go like this. And really, I mean, you think it's an exaggeration, but like she has really thick eyebrows. So get fun with the eyebrows. All right, so we have our eyebrows. Eyebrows come to the top of the nose. Here's where the nose is gonna land, all right? So these corners of the mouth kind of bleed into the sides of the nose. The cheeks, I can already tell I'm gonna have to come out more here. Oh, JP. So I'm gonna erase some of these lines that I'm not using, but all right, so I'm changing this, and this is why I said get an eraser and draw light, because I'm not drawing light tonight, so y'all can see, but you're gonna want to draw light for this. All right, the nose is really fun. I'm gonna zoom in. So Hilty has an also very pretty nose. She's just a very pretty person. Think about the nose like this. There's a ball and there's two different sides. This is where the nostrils live. What's that part under your nose? Can anybody comment? This little cute little dip. I don't know what that's called, but I feel like Jenna Warswick, if you're watching, it's a cute little I don't know what that's called. But this is the basic structure of a nose. Circle, two small circles, and that's where your nostrils go. All right, so we're gonna use that same kind of setup for this, although it's skewed because her face is turned. So I see a nostril here. There's that little dip, that cute little, I don't know what that little body part is called. The top of these lips. Hildy's gonna be so excited that I drew her. And then here's a little bit more of her nostril. Ooh, that's not Hilty's nostril. See, I just generalized and that didn't get me anywhere. All right? And the nostril kind of ends here. Her nose comes down a little bit more. So always look at your reference. Always look at your reference. I gotta zoom out. This is freaking me out. Always look at your reference. Comes down here, and this is her nostril, all right? There's that little ball, and then the nose comes up. Now let's talk about eyes. Obviously this eye's a little bit too low. So I'm okay with this kind of messy nose, but if you're not, remember this structure and you can start to connect these lines, all right? So this is the nose. Again, I'll do some representation of teeth, but I don't wanna, so remember, anytime you do teeth, make sure that the middle two, if that's how they look on the person, the middle two are in line with the middle of the face. I know all of us have different faces, and but for Hilty's sake, this is what they look like. So I'm just gonna do, and her gums are showing, right? So I'm gonna show some of those gums. All right, so there's some teeth. I'm not gonna worry about the teeth though. Okay, let's talk eyes. Eyes are also really fun. Eyes are not this. Eyes are also not almonds. They're not ovals like that. They're a blend of both. There's lines that go in, there's lines that go up, there's lines that carve down. So you gotta look at the shape of the eye. And let's go to her right eye. So her little teardrop here, both of these lines move up, and then they come down, and she has these really pretty eyelashes. Just like that. The pupil is not a perfect circle because the top of the lid is covering part of it, which is making you see that she's smiling, right? So I'm gonna draw a little pupil here. So I learned, my grandmother introduced me to one of her neighbors, and he's an artist. His name is Glenn. And it's cool, he was friends with astronauts, and they would do like drawings on moon together. Like he would take their pictures and they'd paint collaborative paintings. And he said, when you make people's eyes a little bit bigger, you connect to the work more emotionally because our eyes get bigger when we're more emotional. So you can always embellish the pupils. That's an artistic choice. And then the pupils in the middle, if you don't want to freak everybody out, then color in the sides. So I'm just kind of scribbling in. All right, so that's one eye. The eyes are in one line, right? So try not to draw the other eye down here. Remember, I took her face, which was turned, and I created those proportions. I'm using this roadmap for Hilty's face. So I'm gonna make that other teardrop here. If you kind of like scribbled like I did, kind of erase some of that. All right, I know her pupil is gonna be right about here. This cheek is bothering me. I gotta do this real quick. Okay, and then I'm coming back. So again, the teardrop comes in, down. There's a little slit here, but it goes up. So really just look at the direction of the lines. And she has some really pretty eyelashes too. And then her pupil goes here. And think about the eyelids too. You can see those. So those are important in telling the story, right? If the person is smiling, their eyes are a little bit squinted. Eyelash here. There's a little black space here. And if you're painting ever, the white part of the eye is never really seen as like a truly bright white. So it's okay if there's a little bit of shade in there. All right, so I haven't really stepped back from this. I don't know if it's like the worst thing that I've ever seen, but all right, I'm gonna try to wrap this up for y'all because I know this could be overwhelming, but so I'm gonna come back to this nose and then bring that there. That makes me a little bit happier. So now we just go into details, right? We're kind of connecting it all together. I know this seems really messy, but I mean, that's a face. I think that's a pretty recognizable face. So I'm gonna just kind of confirm the lines that I wanna keep. This gets really close, it comes up here and then here. And then I'm gonna erase some of these other lines that I don't really need anymore. All right? I don't know if those eyes. So I'm gonna take a step back real quick. Okay, so this eye is kind of bothering me, but that's okay. I made her pupils a little bit bigger. Okay, so her smile, this is a line that I wanted. So you're just gonna start to erase some lines. And then add in your final detail. If the person is wearing a hat, if the person has some nice hair, right? Maybe the hair comes like this. I know her hat's gonna move a little bit higher now. And it's gonna come like that. Hilty! Okay, and I'll show you an update if you wanna see the one that I practiced on. I'm a little bit prouder of that one, but that's okay, we're cool with it. Give her some more eyebrows. Okay, all right guys, so that is basically how you can draw a face. And remember, I think that the thing that I want you to take away from the most is this proportion. Because once you learn how to map out how far things are away from one another, it's gonna help you look at any face and draw those same lines no matter what direction the face is in. I'm gonna upload the proportion sheet on my website tonight, but are there any questions that y'all have about drawing a face? Any questions at all? Well, that's okay. If you do have questions, go ahead and DM me. And if you end up drawing faces, you can tag Haley from home. I'd love to see where you're up to. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is really fun, and I hope that I get to see you guys in person sometime soon and that you're healthy and well. Thanks so much.